ask about something else that was brought up this morning? I think it was Stephen L. Carter in this morning's panel raised the question of intervention in places that did not seem to be immediately vital to the interests of the United States. And how do we ask people to go and quite possibly die for something that does not seem vital to the immediate defense of the United States? He raised the possibility of raising some separate volunteer military force that would have signed up for just that mission. Does that seem remotely practical or remotely necessary to you?
It's not even close to who we are. I mean, one of the things, from my perspective, one of the things that I worry about a great deal is the United States military has done an extraordinary amount in the last 10 years. But we are less than 1% of the population. We come from fewer and fewer places. And the American people don't know us. Certainly know we've been at war, know we've lost over 6,000. We've had tens of thousands physically wounded and hundreds of thousands with invisible wounds. But beyond that, the eaches of the stresses on families, the number of deployments. If I'm a 5-year-old son, boy or girl in a family of one of these deploying units, major deploying units for the Army, whose average deployment, well, let's say, was 12 months at a time, and my dad or mom, but mostly my dad, has deployed at this pace. I'm now 15 or 16 years old, and my dad has been gone 3, 4, or 5 times. And my whole conscious life, from the time I was 5, when I started to figure out there was something out there, my whole conscious life has been at war. The United States has never experienced that before. And we see issues, incredible stresses on families and now we are coming home. By no means are we home. We still have 90,000 troops in Afghanistan. And I believe we're going to see a couple decades of challenges associated with the stresses that we've been just sort of not just dealing with, but the issues we've been packing away. And indicative of that is the incredible suicide rate that we have, both on the active side, which is, even despite all the efforts of leadership to contain it, is in the Army this year higher now than it was a year ago. And another statistic that hasn't gotten much traction, but we've got 18 vets a day who are killing themselves in the United States. Now, that's not just from these wars, that's all vets. So the idea, I mean, it's my belief that we have to have a military that is representative of our country, that does what the President of the United States, the duly elected President of the United States, says we do, and that we go through that debate about whether we're going to intervene and send someone someplace to give his or her life specifically. That's who we are. I think if the military drifts away, continues to drift away from the American people, we are very well compensated right now. We've been, I mean, the benefits that we have been dramatically increased. And I give Congress in particular, they don't get a lot of credit lately, I give Congress in particular, along with presidential leadership from both parties over the course of the last 15 years, a lot of credit for greatly improving the compensation, the overall benefits package for our military, as we should, as they, as far as I'm concerned, rate. But I do worry that it's just, please go off and fight our wars. We don't want to be bothered, and that the whole country isn't in. And it gets to, at some point, we're not there, but at some point we cross the line where essentially it's not unlike mercenary forces from other countries, which is the force you described to me a minute ago, that may be another option. I think the United States of America, without its military being a direct output of its people's will and understanding what that is a disaster for us in the long run.